Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, we're going to go quickly over some more fan letters, alright? And some of the significance and some of the information that's in the actual letters, alright? So again, before we begin, if you have sometime during this video, go down below, click like and click subscribe, because obviously that definitely helps the YouTube analytics, to recommend my videos more often, so that would be really great. If you want to support me financially, I have the Patreon and the PayPal links below. Again, you can get into some very specialized, user and subscriber episodes. That's stuff I just can't normally post on, YouTube. I also have the tips button below for you to, if you like this particular episode. You can throw me something that way as well. I really appreciate any support that you can give. All right. So today's topic is fan letters. So I went through archives and I was just pulling out different sort of fan letters. And I noticed that I got a bunch of groupings of fan letters. So I'm going to probably put up a few more episodes of that where I put the mail flow together. But this is a lot of one-offs that I wanted to point out some information. So I got some different sort of fan letters here, and I'll just sort of go through them. I won't read them all, but I'll go through the specific points that I want to make a mention of, and then sort of elaborate on them to sort of give you a feel for what's going on in these actual letters and what they're referring to when you talk to these letters. Okay, so let's begin with the list of them. Okay, the first one I have here is from an Ian Warfield in Delhi, Ontario. Okay. And he writes, "Hey, thanks very, very much for those tapes." So obviously, I just sent some tapes to him, and he's also really, really happy to get them. Core, or Kimura Orange Road, is awesome, and those bonus tapes were cool too. I also love those music videos that were on the end of the tapes. They were also cool. So basically, what he's referring to is that sometimes I'll throw in an extra tape, especially if postage allows. I'll be able to send an extra tape full of extra types of animes, lots of previews and clips of different other animes, which a lot of people like to see, because as I said, a lot of people don't have an idea what anime is. So I say, oh yeah, I checked this anime called Megazone 23. There's no way that anyone would know what Megazone 23 actually looks like, except if they've seen it in a magazine or something like that, and say, oh, okay, that's what Megazone 23. But then that'd be just only a still picture, maybe just an illustration or something, and that would be the only thing they'd know about Megazone 23. Whereas if I, sent them a tape that has some clips or some suggestions of some different animes and that kind of stuff, they could actually see a moving, combat scene or some opening theme song or something like that. At least then they can see what the graphics look like. They can see what some of the music sounds like, and they get a better picture. So sometimes I throw that in. And he comments he loves those things, the little music videos at the end of the tape. So what I do is I after I fill up the tape full of let's say Orange Road episodes, there's takes up like 80 to 100 minutes roughly, right, or whatever. The tape has 120 minutes, so there's like 20 minutes worth of gap at the very end that is possibly available for stuff. So what I do is I usually fill in that space full of anime music videos, or AMVs, which highlight different animes and gives you examples of more different types of anime that you might be interested in. Something just catches your eye, saying, "Hey, that combat sequence was cool. I want whatever that thing is," right? So that's what he writes there. The next letter is from a Salah, okay? And he's basically emailing me from Kuwait. Okay, so I don't just restrict myself to just people that are in Canada and U.S. The word of me doing subtitles for Orange Road and that kind of stuff, transpired the world of anime. So here I am. He emailed me on my account on altavista.net. So obviously this is one of these dial-up services that I had back in 1999. That basically, he was asking and requesting some information about how to get anime delivered to Kuwait. All right. Okay. The next letter is from a Pedro Coleman out of Sunnyside, New York, and he writes, "I'm enclosing a check for $105 in U.S. funds, which isn't much of a donation, but I felt that I should send something since I'm asking for quite a bit. Okay, I just had to get Amazing Haku when I heard that Viz is going to get the rights to tear it apart." And this basically, he ends up basically ordering all of Amazing Haku on 8 tapes recorded in 6-hour speed, which is enough to do all of it. Okay, sure, not the greatest quality, but it definitely does that, and plus the movie. And at this time, there's this great worry that as soon as a commercial company is going to license a video, they're going to basically try to Anglicize it, like make it more, so say, U.S. friendly, if you will, which means maybe throwing out a lot of the the Japanese context of a lot of things. Again, this is primarily something that Streamline Pictures did. Their adaptations of, let's say, for example, Robotech, the Disco Captain Harlock, and the Valley of the Wind type of thing as a portrayal of Nausicaa and things like that. They just made a mess of things. And they're not the only one. I maybe have to make an episode specifically about that, how anime companies were making a mess of things. But that's a large order. Okay, and again, I don't ask people to throw donations and that kind of stuff all the time. But if they do, it really does help, because I said it's a lot of there's a lot of expenses that definitely occur, and any little bit helps defray them. That's for sure. Okay, so the next one is from a Michael Doyle out of Woodside, California, and basically at this time we are just starting to do the in 1994, just starting to get into the Sailor Moon and into the Miracle Girls and all the other magical girl shows, and he writes. He basically wants to get the first tapes of Sailor Moon and Miracle Girls. And remember, at this time, our Sailor Moon episodes that we got were so quick and so basically after the fact. These were done off of TV tape masters. So these are basically TV tapes recorded off of the TV with commercials and everything, and we fan subbed them off of that because the Laserdiscs weren't out yet. So, and by the time the Laserdiscs came out, they got licensed anyway, so it's just that was an example of get it done as quickly as we can, because the shelf life, the expiry date on Sailor Moon was so quick. We knew that that was going to happen. Anyway, he just writes at the very bottom. We enjoyed Kimagure Orange Road a lot. Okay, a lot of people just love that series. My only significant criticism would be that making the subtitles red made them a little hard to read at times. And it's not so much that we made the subtitles red; we made them kind of like an orange, more of a It's not more of a yellow orange. It's more like a greenish orange, I guess, what happens. And I guess, after after doing a tape copy, the picture tends to get a little more red, because red shifts first, right? So it makes the subtitles maybe a little bit red because of that, and that's just one of the problems of going recording from tape to tape, is that you're going to lose a little bit of quality, you're going to lose a little bit of color. Lose a little bit more, the clarity and that kind of stuff, and that's one of the things that happens, is that colors are no longer true, and so that's what he refers to, and it's a little bit hard to avoid. But again, making it a quicker tape speed, recording things in SP does help a little bit. Okay, the next I think the next one is from a Fidelis Orozoko in Princeton, New Jersey. And it's actually 2 letters, but I'll read the first one. First one is dated July 6th, 1994. All right, and he says, "Thanks for making anime available to the masses. I just received my second Pat Labor movie, as well as the first tape of the P series that you sent yesterday, which is the first initial series of the OEVAs for Pat Labor. I think I'm hooked. Looks like I'm going to be ordering the rest of the P series batch at a time. I'd like to order the following," and he basically writes a bunch of things that he's got coming and whatnot. And that usually what happens is that some people hear something that's really cool, they get it, they get to watch a little bit of it, Let's say in this case, he obviously saw the Pat Labor movie and thought, wow, that's pretty good. I mean, Pat Labor is a pretty good movie and pretty good series. So again, he got really hooked into it. So then he's starting to order the rest of the OAVAs for that. I said there's 2 letters. So this is the one he wrote in July. So a month later, August 19th, 1984, he then writes, I need more Orange Road. It's a series that I definitely will have to get the whole set there for 4 tapes for those episodes. So again, he's obviously he ordered some Orange Road episodes. He saw those and was like, oh my god, I like this. I need more of it. And that happens all the time. When you get hooked on a series like that, obviously I sent him the first 12 episodes and he really loved it. And so now he needs more of it. So now he's ordering the next batch of episodes there. And that's not uncommon. People just get really, really deeply drawn in by really good series. And Orange Road has a way of doing that, for sure, 100%. The next one is from a G Woo in Turlock, California. I recently have viewed Amazing Haku in Japanese, and I really enjoyed watching it very much. I was saddened by the fact that I could not understand the Japanese, and missing the Takashi's humor in the Amazing Haku left me in a deep depression. But once hearing that you were English subtitling the whole Amazing Haku series, I felt overjoyed and thrilled that someone was English subtitling it even better, copying them to anime fans like myself for free. So I'm writing this letter to take full advantage of your offer by giving away copies of Amazing Haku subtitle. Therefore, I'm enclosing some money for some tapes to cover the necessary fees as mentioned, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, again, it's this, and he wrote this September 19th, 1991. So, again, just more or less right after I finished doing Orange Road the previous year. Now I'm doing Amazing Haku. He wrote this letter on the 19th. I wrote down the bottom the 5 tapes that I sent him, okay, and I sent them back on October 22nd, 1991. So literally a month later, okay, I managed to finish dubbing his 5 tapes and sending them back to you, and you can kind of imagine this. This is mind blowing because here we are at an era where we order something from, let's say, Amazon. And if it isn't on our doorstep in 2 days, we're complaining and writing complaints and requesting a refund. Okay, can you imagine you ordering like 5 tapes of Amazon, like there's something that you watch and you really really like and you want to get this, and you're like, wow, somebody's actually subtitling. I can get a translation in English and I can understand what's going on. I can understand the jokes, but I have to wait a month for it. Right? Of course, I didn't tell him that it was going to take a month. I just, it just, by the time I actually got it all recorded and everything and put it in the mail on October 22nd, he still probably was not going to even get it until like November or something. So he's waiting like a month and a half, okay, to maybe even 2 months, because land travel and that kind of stuff before he actually gets his episodes, and he doesn't know when these are things because there's no tracking when you do these things, right? So he doesn't know when I've sent it. He doesn't know when he's going to get it. So this is like literally like one day he's going to show up in his mailbox and it's going to be like Christmas, right? It's like this arrived, oh my god, rip it open, stick it in the VCR, let's watch it. This would be a not an uncommon common event, right? Now, and the last one I want to just do for this particular episode before I do some more. Definitely, make sure you hit subscribe and press like so that when the next episode comes out, you'll get notified when you get that. Okay. Okay. So this was from a Kenneth Wolf out of Winnipeg. Okay. Hello, I got your last letter a while back along with Prototype 5, so I guess I sent him one of our newsletters, Prototype Generation number 5, so that he could actually see what that is all about. And then he basically is going to ask for a whole bunch of tapes. Now, the point that I wanted to get on at the bottom here is about swapping data disks. The only thing that my machine can produce at high quality densities, which are 1.2 meg, 5 1/4 inch IBM diskettes. Okay, so Back, you gotta remember, this is 1991, so the fastest, the computers that we're using nowadays are not very big, and the storage capacity is not very high. He continues to write, I can read regular density, okay, which is half of that, right? But I can't write that format. So yes, I'm one of those poor sods who forked over many kilobucks, so several $1,000s, because that's how much they are, for a 286 machine. So this is using the single processor 886 processors, right? Around 5 years ago. So you gotta think, 1986. Okay. We were talking 286 kind of computers, right? And then now we got all these machines that are way faster. 886s, and now we got a 286, which is even faster. What I would propose doing is sending you my complete set of files, which is about 4 to 5 disks, 4 or 5 megs worth. So basically, it's going to be 4 or 5 these floppy diskettes to send over the mail to basically hold that much data. And it's not very much data. You got to think about it. You think of like a regular text file that we have that we normally have in Microsoft Word and that kind of stuff. Hitting that is not that much, right? It's just he had plus enough extra diskettes to hold your 10 megs worth. You can copy the stuff, whatever medium you want, and send the diskettes back with the stuff on them. That'd be okay. So at this time, okay, even at 1991, I have about 10 megs worth of raw text file data, okay? 10 megs, so approximately a box of 10 floppy diskettes, okay? Now, you gotta understand, people have to use the mail system to physically put these disks, put this information onto disks and then mail them to you, because the alternative is to use a dial-up method, like, a fax, modem type of thing, and then try to download them off of, the FTP or off of, a BBS or something like that. Early on in the time, a lot of people say, well, why don't you distribute your scripts and that kind of stuff? Because it wasn't physically possible. I mean, the amount of storage required on the computer to hold this much data, like 10 megs of data, right? This is like an unheard of amount of space that is needed to house this data. It's not feasible. It's just not feasible to do that, and that's why this thing of shall we say sharing data digitally was just not done. It's just people either printed it out on paper and then sent it that way, or in this case, put it onto a floppy diskette and then send it over the mail. Okay. And hope it doesn't get demagnetized by the post office or an X-ray scanner or whatever on the way there, right? So that was the way things were done. So I hope that you found this kind of interesting, and I just wanted to show a different sort of cross section of different examples of what some of the tape requests and that kind of stuff, and some of the letters that I've gotten when I was doing the fan subbing and doing tape distribution, just to give you an idea of some of the things that we had to deal with at this time. Because you remember, 1991, there's no Windows 95, there's no there's no internet as we know it. Like, there's no Google, and there's no these sort of things that people can use to see things or even to download or get information for things. You really had to go back and pull out your pen and paper and actually write letters. The post office was king at this time, right? So trying to help you paint this picture so that you can understand what things were like. Okay, and again, when we get into more episodes, I got more letters. I want to get into more episodes where I want to kind of go through the exchanges, because someone pointed out that these letters are kind of neat, but they lack continuity. So I'm going to get into more episodes where I'm going to bring in what I wrote, what they wrote, what I wrote, what they wrote, kind of do it back and forth, and then you can kind of see how we kind of talked, like how the conversation kind of went. And I'm going to try to do more of those ones as well to help you kind of bring together how this tape trading and this sort of conversation transpires, and you can see how much time it takes. That's the other thing that's really important to make a note of. Okay, so make sure you are subscribed and you have your notifications on, so that when I get to those episodes, you will know when they come out. All right. So until next time, see you again.